drive to right field. This ball is gone. Gone and into the history books.
The Seattle Mariners, Felix Hernandez, the 2-2. He got it! 34 years, 119 games. It's finally happened. A perfect game by a Seattle Mariner. It was done by the King.
And the 0-1 pitch on the way to Edgar Martinez. Swung on the line down the left field line for a base hit. Here comes Joy. Here is Junior to third base. They're going to wave him in. The throw to the plate will be late. The Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship. I don't believe it. It just continues. My, oh my. And they are going crazy at the Kingdom.
Welcome to the Corner of Edgar and Dave, your Seattle Mariners baseball fan podcast. I'm Jacob, here with my brother Nick. We are back, and spring training is most of the way done, Nick. Anything on your radar outside of the baseball world?
Outside of the baseball world?
Yeah.
Nah, man. Just been playing games and watching baseball, and that's about it.
All right, that's nice. It's not technically, tax day is coming up, and
yeah.
I don't really care about, tax day. Like, the taxes get done, they get submitted, everything's fine. It's not as much of a struggle, as they always told us, right? As we were kids, they always told us, like, tax day, is rough. Doing your taxes was rough. It's really not that bad, especially in our situation where, we have someone that does it for us. But I think it's partially because our taxes are so simple and not really making a lot of claims for stuff, whatever. Honestly, The thing for me about tax day is the commercials for all of the... I know it's like a certain time of the year. It's like March Madness, which is another thing that's been going on. Gonzaga moving on to the Sweet 16 today.
Yeah, I don't really watch March Madness.
On a route,
it's background noise in my life.
This time of the year is always spring training, March Madness, and freaking tax commercials. And right now, H&R Block is living rent-free in my head with this stupid singing commercial that they have. It's driving me crazy. It's just like, I'm just sitting there, no matter where I am sitting in my life right now, all I can hear in my head is, file your taxes for free, Block's got your back, and it's just living rent. It's just in my head, absorbing space, and it's like, I don't even need that. Our taxes are done. They're good to go. I don't need H&R Block to be living in my head at all times.
You could argue that they paid their taxes by paying for that commercial to be on air, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those times. It's like, it's the worst part of this year. It's not actually having to do taxes. It's the commercials.
Having to listen to commercials about it. Yeah.
Honestly, it's all the commercials.
That's the thing that almost kills me about March is it's one of those things where I almost look forward to it, right? Because my birthday's in March, right? And that's kind of a fun thing. But then I have to listen to tax commercials and March Madness stuff that I'm not interested in. And it's like every year, can we move March Madness to a different month? I'm trying to enjoy this month.
No, you need to get on the Gonzaga hype train. What are you doing? We're 4 games away from the first national championship.
I'm on the Gonzaga hype train, but the rest of the teams, I don't care. I don't care about the rest of the tournament.
4 games away from Gonzaga's first national championship. The baseball season is coming up even sooner than that. We're actually only about a week and a half away. Today, March 22nd, leaving us, 8 days from opening day? April 1st is going to be opening day this year?
No.
So...
Whoa, it's 11 days. It's 31 days of March, bro.
Oh! Yeah, you got me. Okay. No, it's 9 days.
It's 11 days.
9 days.
What day are you living in?
It's the 22nd of March. So, it's 8 days until the 30th. The 31st is 9 days. We're 9 days away.
Okay, yeah, I guess we're at the end of this day. I guess I can mark
from opening day. It's fewer than 10 days from opening day, which is awesome for us because we're going to get a whole season of watching all these really great young baseball players develop. And we've already kind of got to see that in spring training. Here we are with the smoothest segue of all time.
Oh my god. Sorry.
Yes, so I think we just need to get into it. Anything of spring training caught your eye? Any hitters, any pitchers? What do you want to start with discussing spring training?
Where do you start other than the obvious between the outfield of Jared Kelenic, Julio Rodriguez, and now Kyle Lewis is really turning the bat back on. Like, they all just look great. Like, the future looks so good in the outfield for the Mariners, and that's, like, ignoring how good Taylor Trammell has looked so far, too.
Yes, that is another person. Like, the outfield's a little too loaded, Mitch Haniger in there, like, it's...
and Mitch. Yeah, Mitch looks like fucking... Mitch is on fire, dude.
It's becoming a problem.
Have 5 good outfielders right now.
Yeah, it's a legit problem. And you can kind of see here how they're spreading out the time. Let's see. In Kyle Lewis's games, he's played center field 12 times. He's DH'd 1 time. Taylor Trammell has been all around the field. Left field 8 times, center field 5 times, right field once. Mitch Haniger, right field 11 times, DH 1 time. Julio Rodriguez has been in right field 9 times, left field 3 times, DH 1 time. I mean, and then going down to Jared Kelenic, who's center field twice, right field twice, left field twice, DH once. He's obviously played the fewest amount of games. Which is
only due to his small injury that he received.
Exactly, that's what I was about to say. Spend some time out. Didn't he just come back and get his second home run recently,
dude,
too?
Literally, like, I think it was, like, third at-bat back. He's just like, I think I'm just going to crank one out the center and really tell Scott Service that he needs to put me right in the fucking lineup.
I know, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I mean, then we've also got, Braden Bishop played center field 13 times, left field 4 times. Jake Fraley's been all over the place, 6 times in left field, 5 times in right field, 4 times a designated hitter. Like, realistically, we have... I don't know, if you don't count Julio Rodriguez and Jared Kelenic as MLB ready, because they're probably not going to be on the roster opening day.
No, definitely not.
Even though maybe they might have earned it, it's kind of tough to say. But
I would say Jared Kelenic probably earned it. I mean, it's kind of like the Bobby Wood Jr. thing. I don't know if you heard about the Bobby Wood Jr. thing, right?
What's that?
Dude hit 5 home runs in spring training so far, and he was hitting 310, and then the Royals were like, no, you're going to need more time with the minors. And the Royals sent him down yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird just the way that spring training works. I mean, it's hard to... It's good to see players performing well, but it's hard to take bad numbers seriously or to kind of figure out where it is. But I mean, realistically, the Mariners have... If you count Julio and Jared as MLB ready, and hypothetically those guys could be on an MLB team, they're probably just not old enough, they're not exactly technically ready yet. The Mariners have 7 outfielders.
Yeah.
They've got 7 outfielders ready to go. And then it's that creates kind of complications for some other players, like Jose Marmoleos, who's MLB ready, could play some outfield. Dylan Moore, who played a lot of outfield, but most likely is going to be sitting at second base for us. I guess that depends, though, with the whole Ty France, Kyle Seager situation. We have too many players around the same level right now, and it's becoming a huge problem for the Mariners.
Well, it's actually one of those issues that's it's like a it's almost like a fabricated. That's not right. Sure, let's just go with fabricated. It's like a fabricated problem where it's too much of a good thing is a bad thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they have 4 or 5 different outfielders, like you said, that are just on the cusp of being everyday players, and that's excluding Mitch Haniger and Kyle Lewis, right?
Yeah.
And it's almost
because to me they're the 2 that are locked in, right? Kyle Lewis is to me locked in at center. Mitch Haniger is locked in at right field. Yep. It's really just a fight for who's going to be at DH and who's going to be at left field. It seems to me right now Taylor Trammell is going to be the starting left fielder.
Dude, I don't know. Marmolejos is sneaky good. I mean, I could literally see Marmo and Ty France rotating that DH position.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe left field or second base position,
and trying to just fit in
at the beginning of the year. Marmo is just, I don't know if you saw his missile today, but he almost hit one 500 feet. Just the unbelievable raw power from Marmo.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of thought honestly that they might be trying to move prior to this year, that they might consider moving Kyle Seager into a more of a full-time DH type thing. But he has not played a single game at DH. I think he's one of the only ones with of the regular guys. Him and J.P. Crawford have been at their positions every single game that they've played. So it seems it seems likely at this point that Dylan Moore is probably going to play second and Ty France is going to play
DH.
is going to be the DH. I mean, it's complicated because, I mean, I don't know. You know my history of, it's probably overinflated, but my disbelief in Dylan Moore's fielding abilities. But, you know, at the infield, I'm happier, a little happier at, like, middle infielder with Dylan Moore.
I mean, Demo is really the guy on the team who's, like, gotten sneaky good and is, like, so undervalued so far right now.
Yeah.
Because, like, he is probably one of the 3 hottest players on the team, like, over the past, like, end of last season and the beginning of the spring training, right?
Right. I mean, it would have been great to see him finish the season without getting hurt and missing those last couple weeks.
Yeah.
The guys that are really impressing me in spring training is the duo of Ty France and Kyle Seager. They're both hitting over 400 in spring training.
Yes, and actually, it's worth noting. So, I don't know if this is sort of like a looking glass into the future of what Scott Service and Jerry Dipoto are going to be doing for this year, but having Kyle Seager at third base rather than Ty France almost is like no, we're going to compete this year. We're not looking like future. We're competing. Like we're getting our best third baseman out there to give us every opportunity we can to win, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. It almost makes me wonder, though, if... to me, it makes me think of 2 separate things. That either they want Kyle Seager to show his value as a third baseman as potential trade bait, which but we both know we don't like, but that's something that's like obvious. It's something that's obviously on their mind, right? Like, we don't want that to happen.
Sure.
Or the other option is that maybe they don't have faith in anyone else's ability to take third. I mean, we already know that Dylan Moore should stay far away from third base.
I mean, Demo came up as a third baseman, and he was always considered a defensive-oriented third baseman. Or infielder, I should say. So,
I just wonder if
they don't think they have a replacement at third base for him is ridiculous, and I think you actually just kind of, like, hit the nail on the head. And it's a point that I didn't think of at all, actually, is that, like, probably, like, Kyle Seager's on a fucking tear right now, so let's let people see how good he is at his current peak, so they want to trade for him, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a possibility, because as much as we've already talked about the outfield kind of logjam that's happening with, you know, having 7 outfielders ready to go, I mean, a similar thing is happening in the infield. If you look at Ty France, Dylan Moore, J.P. Crawford, Kyle Seager, and then you throw, like, Sam Haggerty in there, you throw Evan White in there. It's just like, I mean, you throw Jose Marmoleos in there. You know, yeah, Shed Long is an option. It's just like, I mean, I don't know. I don't even see Shed Long's stats really on here, actually.
That's really nice, considering that, like, a baseball season is 180 days, and there are going to be a lot of injuries and a lot of, like, short spurs where you're going to have to bring guys up and they're going to have to perform, right?
You said Shed Long's name. This is the first, actually, realization I have that Shed Long hasn't been even playing in spring training. He's been out injured. So that's someone that's another guy I've totally forgotten. Like, there's a serious logjam. If we could somehow, and you know, it might happen in the trades, if we could somehow turn the logjam that's happening in outfield, infield into some pitching, like that might be a route for us.
I actually really like our lineup. I think it's really underrated. I think it's a lot better than people.
I would agree with that too. People are not talking about, especially maybe it's not this year, but like next year it's going to be a real lineup. I think next year and the year after that, like we're looking at a legit lineup.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, currently it's not a top 5 lineup, so I get why people are kind of sleeping on it. But it's not a bottom 20. Like, our lineup is pretty good, you know?
Mm-hmm. For sure. Who do you think out of... I think, for me, the guy that's actually impressed me the most... I know I mentioned both of them. Kyle Seager is one of those guys where I'm kind of impressed in the sense that, like, he's known as, like, a slow starter and not really a great spring training player. The fact that he's doing so well in spring training and he's actually facing high-quality opponents, like, he has one of the highest opposing opponent pitching qualities on the team, and he's hitting, you know, over 400 against generally good pitchers and generally seeing MLB level pitchers, and is still, you know, hitting like that. It's gonna be great. Like, if we get a Kyle Seager that doesn't have a bad first half, it's gonna be freaking awesome.
I mean, Kyle Seager looks to be aging really well. He almost looks like he's taken a note right out of Nelson Cruz's book, and it's like he hit 30, and now he's playing baseball, right?
I kind of wonder a little bit if he's playing a little angry. Because he was definitely one of the targets of like the off-season, as much as I don't want to bring it up again, I'm not going to say his name. The off-season executive issues that the Mariners had,
Yes.
he was definitely one of the big targets. I kind of wonder if he's playing a little angry. Like, that might be nice if he can
for sure. I mean,
have
he's
a heck of a
definitely
year.
playing with a chip on his shoulder for sure, especially considering his little brother, who's only been playing in the MLB right, for like 2 or 3 years at this point, excluding his injuries, of course. Like almost won MVP last year and won like the postseason MVP. Like, of course, he's got something to prove at this point, right?
Yeah. I mean, definitely, though, for me, the MVP is going to be... you have to go to Ty France. I think he's hitting the same batting average, but he is smashing baseballs. He's already got 5 home runs and 3 doubles in spring training so far. He's got a slugging. He's got a slugging right now of 917 and an OPS of 1.404. Like, Ty France is going to be is a monster in spring training at least. If Ty France
hits anything like what he's doing right now in the regular season, he's like an MVP level bat. It's like insane. Like, it's a bat that like we haven't seen in the Mariners in a couple of years now. But it's almost like Ty France comes to the plate and you stop what you're doing and you just watch him hit.
Yeah, kind of like I have a feeling that Ty France for the Mariners is going to be a lot like Kyle Lewis last year. In that it's must watch. Like Kyle Lewis last year in those 60 games, like when he got up to bat, you stopped what you were doing, you put your phone down, you sat and you watched that at bat.
You watched every pitch.
Ty France could be that for us again this year.
Dude, I have a question. Is Ty France rookie eligible, or is he already lost it?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay.
But I guess moving on from kind of the good things, do you have any more good things to talk about spring trading wise from the hitters?
So many good things to talk about. Did you see Big Maples? Or I guess nobody saw it.
We'll move on. Yeah, we'll move on to pitching. I want to finish off batting and fielding.
For hitters. Okay. Who have I missed out on?
Who are we not giving a little?
Big homers.
Anyone else you want to give a little love to? Yeah, Marmo swinging the bat.
I feel like coming to me. Fraley's rocks some doubles too.
Yeah, I will actually say one thing I actually really love. Every time Julio and Jared Kelenic hit a home run, like it is big news. It is news outside of the Mariners. That's how big these guys are. I think their futures like you see on like the main MLB page of Reddit when Julio or Jared hit a home run, it makes it there. No one else on this team is making the main page of Major League Baseball Reddit.
Yeah, well, it's like every time they hit a line drive, it just fucking leaves the stadium. Like, they just hit balls at such a like good angle and like with such good solid contact that it's just fucking they tap it and it just leaves the arc, right?
Yeah, they're just hitting really well. I guess that's the only thing I have to say about the good stuff. Any concerns from you from the position players, 2 through 9 on the roster card?
Honestly, the only one I can think of right now is JP. His bat looks so weak.
Okay. Yeah, I mean he's definitely struggling. One of the lower batting averages on the team.
Of course it's spring, but
yeah, it is just spring.
So funky.
I have a little bit of faith in JP that like whatever. So you think it's something that you're like seeing in his approach as opposed to just bad numbers?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not that kind of guy that can just like look at someone's swing and break it down and like understand what's wrong with it.
Right.
But he looks uncomfortable at the plate, and his contact just looks really bad. And I know like he like put on a bunch of weight. Like he put on 15 pounds of muscle in the offseason, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know from personal experience, but I've heard that like putting on too much weight can really fuck with the mechanics of your swing. And this is the second year in a row that he's put on more weight than the previous year, right? So he is actually like 30 pounds heavier than he was 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely trying to add some power to his game, right?
Yeah.
He's definitely trying to add some power to his game. Yeah, I don't know with JP because he's never. I mean, I actually just read an article in Sports Illustrated this month. We actually just got it today, and I was reading it about kind of like the power hitting, like revolution of shortstops, right? And I just don't think JP is ever going to be that. As much weight as he wants to put on or try and bulk up or whatever, I just don't think he's going to be that. I think it might be a mistake to change that. Like,
I just don't think he has the swing. Like, he doesn't. Like, I don't know. You look at like Javier Baez or Francisco Lindor or any of the good like low ball hitters.
Trevor Story.
Yeah, Trevor Story. They swing low. Like, they carry they bring the ball up and they knock it out. But JP's swing path is just through the plane, and it just doesn't. I don't think he has the power in his swing. Maybe if he like, completely reworks his swing, but like I just don't see it.
Yeah, he's not going to be a Fernando Tatis, right? I think he's gonna. To me, he's more of an old school style shortstop.
He reminds
defensive first, and hits for average if he can, right? And it's just, I don't know. I mean, maybe they have a plan for him, right? Who am I to question it? But obviously, last year wasn't his best year, and it had spring training.
Was his best year.
Well, I just mean you kind of wanted to see more from him, right? And then spring training, you're not seeing that either. So I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I'm still on the J.P. Crawford hype train.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always kind of considered him less of like a power guy and more of like I don't want to say it just because he has the same name, but a Brandon Crawford kind of guy.
Okay.
Where he's like defense oriented, but like he can hit 250, and 250 is pretty good from a defense oriented guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if he can get to like 260, like 270, I'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, me too. Maybe give him 10 home runs, 15 home runs. I'd be fucking thrilled, right?
I will say one guy I am kind of worried about. The first person that I thought of that I was worried about is Evan White.
Oh, no way. I actually think... I mean, you look at the average and it doesn't look good, right? But every time he does make contact, it's a fucking screamer, man.
I know, and he's got a lot of RBIs. I think he's actually leading the club in RBIs in spring training.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, he is. He is leading the club. He's only him and Ty France have 10 RBIs in spring training, and Evan White actually has 12. But I don't know. It's just like I just can't. I don't want to see him, hit for 150. Like I would just hope in spring training, especially if I'm looking on Baseball Reference here, and I kind of have noticed this too. The quality of pitchers he's going against has not been good.
Oh, really?
He's only his opponent's quality is only a 6.1, which is pretty low. Which is what's that end up being? It ends up being let's see, an average of 7 is AA. So and most of the guys are around 7. If you look at Tom Murphy's around 7, Ty France is 6.9, Dylan Moore 7, J.P. Crawford 7, Kyle Seager 7.3. So most of these guys, Kyle Lewis 7.1, Mitch Haniger 7.3.
That kind of metric doesn't really explain what's going on because all pitchers are going to be slightly worse in spring training. Because,
no, but it's not about necessarily how well the pitcher is doing. It's the level of player he's playing against. So
right.
But I mean, Evan White is playing against, on average, Evan White is playing against a type of player that is a whole level lower than everyone else is playing against, and he's still not hitting them.
That's fair, but at the same time, you could be facing a 2A guy, or you could be facing Trevor Bauer, who he gave up 5 in an inning. They pulled him, did an interview with him, and he was like, "Yeah, I didn't kind of fucking care. I had already thrown the 4 innings I wanted to. They threw me back out there for a 5th, and I was like, just fucking throw the pitch count up. Who cares?"
Yeah, all I'm saying is after 14 games, you kind of have an idea of a little. It doesn't mean too much. Obviously, it can be kind of whack, how the pitchers are performing. You definitely the thing you read into the least amount in spring training is the pitching. But if Evan White is still not hitting and it's against on average worse players, to me it's a sign of concern. It's not like I'm super worried about Evan White, right? But it's a sign of concern for me. That's all I'm saying.
I'm almost opposite there with my opinion, where I just think that his contact is so good when he makes it that I don't even care. he seems like he could almost be like a Joey Gallo player who just like almost hits more home runs than he does
Dude,
singles.
do we want that though? Is that what we want?
Out of a first base, it's better to have that out of your first baseman than it is out of your fucking left fielder.
I don't know. The reality is he's got to hit like 250.
Yes.
Even if he makes great contact every single time, like if he struggles again, like I am worried for him. Like to me, he's the biggest candidate for like being sent down first.
Yeah, no, I actually agree with you.
Like I'm just worried about the development of Evan. I'm just worried about the development of Evan White because it's the reality is no matter how good he is when he hits it, no matter how good his defense is, if he's hitting 200 or below, if he's hitting 220 or below, like can you really keep him on this team? You like and just let him get crushed by major league pitching?
I don't know. It's rough. It's almost like a Zanino thing where they definitely sent him up too early, and now they're just like, fuck, what do we do?
Yeah. And I guess the only thing, and then the last thing, or I guess I have one more thing that I'm kind of worried about, and then one more thing that I'm like, eatsy-wincy bit, like, I'm like, that's curious. Our catcher play right now, from the batting standpoint, hasn't, I'm just seeing, like, numbers that you don't really want to see. Decent amount of strikeouts from both of them, honestly. Kind of like, decent amount of strikeouts, not really getting RBIs, low batting average. Like, I don't read too much into it because it's small sample size spring training. It's just one of those things where it's like, I kind of noticed that that's lower than, a lot of other people, right?
Yeah, I mean, the difference between these two and then, like, either 2020 or 2019 is that, like, we're just not going to get the same production out of them. I do feel like Murphy kind of fluked his way into a really good 2019. And
you think it was potentially fluky?
Well,
I'm just gonna say I guess the only thing
that's unfair of me because he was like 80% of his batting or his plate appearances were against lefty pitching, who he fucking dominated in 2019, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if he is only a platoon in against lefty catcher, like, I guess that can be fine considering Luis Torrens is better against righties. So they have a pretty good platoon duo, but like...
Yeah, I like both of them.
That's in every day.
I like both of them. All I think about is like when I see it, when I kind of potentially see a decline from our catchers, is that one of the biggest assets I feel like the Mariners have had maybe like the last 3 years running have been good hitting catchers, right? So it's like one of those things where it's just like I'd rather see them. I'd rather not have to worry about them and be like, oh, I just know that Luis and Tom are solid and ready to go. And like I'm not seeing that.
That's
right?
just not really modern baseball though. Like modern baseball, realistically, catchers aren't that good of hitters right now. I don't really know exactly why that is.
But like most celebrated ones, the most celebrated ones though are the good hitters. If you look at JT Realmuto, Buster Posey, like
not really. I mean, Buster Posey and JT Realmuto like had some really good hitting seasons, but I would think about them as more defense-oriented catchers.
Yasmani Grandal. I mean, like all the catchers can catch or whatever. I'm just saying, like the most celebrated catchers are the ones that can hit.
Yeah.
If you look at Yadier Molina, Yasmani Grandal, like I said, I don't know. I've enjoyed having good hitting catchers the last few years for the Mariners, and so
I mean,
that's one of the things. Right? It's like when I look at spring training numbers, and I'm like, I don't want to read into this too much, but also like if we go back to having like poor hitting catchers, like I'm not going to enjoy that. Like I'm not going to enjoy, right? I'd rather have someone solid or to average to solid, right?
I kind of think, I guess what I'm trying to say is that like a power hitting or like a big bat catcher is more of a luxury than it is a necessity.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that, and that's why I'm saying I've enjoyed the luxury that we've had, and I would be sad to see it go. That's all I'm saying is like I've enjoyed knowing that like when our catcher goes up, all the way, whether it was like Tom Murphy, Omar Narvaez before he was traded, right? I enjoyed knowing that when the catcher got up there. Oh yeah, Austin Nola. Oh, that's another great one too. Yeah, I mean, I've just enjoyed knowing that we have solid batting catchers, and if it like there is a decline, like that's just going to be a bummer to me, right? And it's just something in spring training that's like if I see it here and then it bleeds into the regular season, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I saw that. That's kind of a bummer. That's all, these aren't things I'm like really concerned about. They're just like tiny little bit of areas for concern. Like the next one I have here, am I really worried about this? Not really. But Taylor Trammell has like 1 billion strikeouts. He has a strikeout a game.
Well, I mean,
he has
another double-A hitter.
He has 14. I mean, Taylor Trammell is hitting 300, but he also has 14 strikeouts in 14 games. Am I worried about it? No, not really. But is it pop up in my mind and be like, that could be a problem? Yeah, especially we saw, I mean, it's part of the trend of baseball. But if you look at a guy like Kyle Lewis, for example, who's hitting, who's hitting the same 303 in spring training so far in his 13 games, he's barely struck out relative to, especially what he did last year. He struck out 8 times. Like, relative to what he did last year, I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic to see that Kyle Lewis only has 8 strikeouts in 13 spring training games. Like, to me, that's awesome.
Up until like this week, I was really almost a little worried about K-Lou, just because like his timing looked really bad in the first week or 2 of camp.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he's got it down. Like he figured it out, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys. Again, when it comes to him and Mitch Haniger, like they're locked in to me. Him, Mitch Haniger, Ty France, Kyle Seager. Honestly, even like Dylan Moore. Like these are guys that I'm glad I don't have to worry about, right?
Dude, me too. Okay, you say those 5 names together, and I'm like, holy shit, those guys are gonna play probably 150 games together this season. That's a solid like 1 through 5 right there. Like, yeah, I know. We were just earlier talking about like the Mariners are sneaky good offense, but like that's so good. Like, if
so do you think like the offense?
These guys, they're so good.
Do you think if they get hot, like the offense is good enough to chase down the A's for 3rd place in the division?
Yeah, I honestly think the Mariners have like a low, like decent chance of like winning the division. I just think the division is so weak right now.
Just say that.
I mean, it's a long shot. It's a long shot. It could happen.
I think most stats generators have us at a 0% chance. So
I don't. I think that's lame, bro.
Damn, give me some of your algorithm. That's what I like to see. Okay, moving on to the relievers because we spent quite a bit of time. Not the relievers, but just pitchers in general, since we spent all that time. Again, we're kind of...
are just so much fun to talk about.
They are, I mean, because that's the most exciting part. The idea when you're like, oh, we can win the division. It's like I look at our, pitching. As much as I love our starters, and I just look at our pitching and relief pitching. I mean, we saw what happened last year. It doesn't matter how good our starters are; they can't pitch 9 innings every game. They honestly can't even pitch 7 innings every game. And we have some serious and the bullpen is just Jerry got no help in the bullpen, right? So I mean,
well, I don't know. It's just yet to be seen if the bullpen is going to play out the way they wanted it to this offseason.
Right.
And with the guys that are out there that they're throwing out there right now, like a lot of the guys that they have throwing their like relief pitchers are not guys that are going to be making the squad.
Right, of course. So I want to talk first about the starters. Some of the guys that have gotten starts. A good number of starts have gone to... I mean, the 5 that have gotten the most starts right now have been Justice Sheffield, Yusei Kikuchi, and Marco as the lefties, and then Chris Flexen and LJ Newsome as the right-handers. Obviously Justin Dunn is going to be a starter. You didn't mention him. He's at 2 starts. All the guys I mentioned were at 3 starts. Justin Dunn's at 2 starts. They've been kind of slow to work Paxton in. He's only got 1 start. So, I mean, anything about the starters right now? Honestly, okay, I will say this. One thing I wanted to bring up, and really the only thing I kind of want to talk about with the starters, is I think Yusei Kikuchi has looked really good this spring training.
Yeah, he's looked great.
And you kind of mentioned it earlier about kind of like...
really good.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned it earlier as kind of like dark horse... The article you read about kind of dark horse Cy Young guys. Like, I don't think Yusei Kikuchi is going to win a Cy Young, but I think that the Yusei Kikuchi that I've been promising on this podcast for the last 2 years it has arrived. I'm calling it out. I'm calling my shot. Yusei Kikuchi is gonna, he's gonna be out there.
So. I'm
because he's had a good spring. Honestly, in his 3 games, he's had a fantastic spring training, and he's kind of gotten screwed, right? Like he has 2 losses. He's 0-2, which spring training wins and losses don't mean anything. But he's got an ERA of only 3 in those 3 starts, which is pretty much fantastic. That's what you would love out of your pitcher right there. He's only given up 3 runs, only given up 1 home run. As opposed to someone like Justice Sheffield, who's given up a couple home runs, or Chris Flexen, who's given up like a bajillion runs. Like I kind of hope we don't ever have to see this guy too much. That's the one. I don't even know what to say about Chris Flexen. I just hope that our 6 starting pitchers don't include him.
Chris Flexen's starts have kind of really frustrated me because he pitched almost under 3 last year in the JPL or in the KBO. And I'm like, how the fuck is this guy throwing 3s in the KBO? He just doesn't look good.
I'm legit worried. I'm gonna be honest. Part of me is a little worried that Chris Flexen is gonna be one of our 6 starters.
Oh no, he will for sure.
I know. That's the thing. I don't even want to see. I didn't even want to hear that. I didn't want to put it out there, even though I know we're gonna see it when the year starts. Chris Flexen is probably gonna be starter number 6. I mean, what does that mean?
He's probably going to be starter number 4. When you think about the 6 guys that will be in the rotation day 1, it's going to be Marco Gonzalez, James Paxton, Justice Sheffield, Yusei Kikuchi.
Yep.
And then the 2
Justin
question
Dunn.
marks are Flexen and Justin Dunn.
Yeah, Flexen, Dunn, and Newsome.
Or Nick Margevicius.
No, I don't think Margevicius is going to be a starter. I think he's going to be in the bullpen. One guy I'm kind of surprised that is clearly going to be a bullpen guy this year, unless some things change, is Kendall Graveman.
Oh, no, they re-signed him to the contract with exclusively saying, yeah, you're going to be a back-end bullpen guy.
Oh, really? I didn't even know. I didn't realize that was the deal.
Yeah, no, because of the tumor in his neck, that they were we just don't want you... for your own health concerns, we don't want to put you out there for
Oh, that's interesting because I was honestly surprised coming into spring training seeing that he wasn't really being looked at as a starter, but that actually makes sense now. I definitely could have put that together if I was a bit smarter.
No, yeah, they actually established that with him at the end of last season when he came back. He was like, yeah, I'm just going to embrace this reliever thing because for my own health, I don't think it's good for me to go out there and throw 100 pitches once a week, right?
Right. I mean, the thing is, if we look at the spring training numbers, and they don't mean everything, but our bullpen's just gotten beat the heck up.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as we joke about him, really the only guy to me that's even looked good from what I've seen is Eric Swanson out of the bullpen.
I don't even know if I've seen Eric Swanson pitch. The games have been so spotty on what I'm allowed to watch and what I'm not allowed to watch. It's just so frustrating. Yeah? I almost hate spring training.
Yeah, I don't know.
Show every game.
Yeah, I guess Margevicius has been. You're right. Margevicius has been good. I kind of forgot about him. He's pitched quite a few innings, only giving up a couple runs. Just in general though, I'm legitimately worried as far as this season goes. I think it's gonna be kind of frustrating as to be Mariners fans because the way I foresee so many of these games going is.
The bats work early, and then the relievers lose it.
Exactly. We're gonna or it's gonna be close, right? Say we're gonna go into the 6th inning. The starting pitcher, maybe gave up 1, 2, 3, 4 runs or whatever, but we're within shots. Say it's 4-2, we're down 4-2, but we just have no shot to come back in the game because the relievers are gonna give up, 3 runs in 4 innings. To me, that's just gonna be the way that this season's gonna go. I think it's gonna be frustrating from that perspective to be a Mariners fan.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I mean, it's kind of if what you just said is the baseball I've been watching for 2 years now.
I guess. I mean, I was just hoping.
If I didn't like that, I would watch a different team.
But the idea of you're telling me oh we could have a shot in hell of winning this division. It's there's no universe with this bullpen that we would ever have any chance. I don't know.
I don't think the bullpen is fucking lost. I mean, as you were saying, it's gonna Eric Swanson's looked pretty good. Nick Markovich has looked pretty good. Kendall Graveman has looked pretty good. Keenan Middleton has low-key looked pretty good.
Yeah,
That's
I also
solid
like.
guys. That's a back end right there.
I've also liked what I've seen from Anthony Misowitz. I feel like our left-handed pitching has actually been pretty solid between Margovicius, Aaron Fletcher. Even though I'm not convinced that Aaron Fletcher is like is actually gonna amount to anything.
Aaron Fletcher.
And then Anthony Misowitz and even Roenis Elias in his like little bit of time has.
Elias is out for the season.
Oh really?
Tommy John surgery.
Oh, how did I miss that? Okay, well, whatever. So that's
big rip, dude.
classic.
Dude, honestly, like he threw like 4 pitches in his first outing of the spring, and he was like, "Bro, my fucking arm hurts," and they pulled him. It was fucking tragic.
He threw more than that.
No, he literally
faced.
didn't even get
I'm
to
pretty
the
sure
batter.
he's faced like 8 batters. He pitched in like 3 games.
Well, then it must have been his first televised game. Well, it was rough, man. Literally, like the first time I got to see him all spring, and he's just like immediately like, "Dude, take me out. My arm's on fire."
I already kind of was like possibly leaning towards him for being first person released by the Mariners, and I kind of think maybe that might solidify it for me then.
Nope, they signed him to a 2-year contract to give him full medical benefits for his Tommy John surgery recovery.
Oh well,
Good guy M's right there. So
I guess. Well, now I'm screwed, so I don't know who I'm going to find for my superlatives of who's going to get released first, because I was leaning towards freaking Roenis Elias, but whatever.
I have a pretty good guess of who I think who it's gonna be, but we'll get to that later, right?
Yeah, we'll get there when we get there. Okay. Do you have anything else to say about the pitchers? I mean, I kind of already said it originally. Like, there's things you like to see, things you don't like to see. Honestly, the most exciting thing for me probably has been, I just think Yusei has looked really good and more solid than he's ever looked. But I don't read too much into the pitching. The bullpen's going to be bad. The starters are probably going to be fun to watch. It's just going to be is what it is, right?
I don't have anything else to add other than the fact that, like, no Mariner will get a Cy Young or even be in the contention for Cy Young pitcher this year, considering we have a 6-man rotation. They just won't get to the end.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? Unless they just are winning every game and
especially because like I
have a
could
2
see
ERA.
I could see Marco having like a Cy Young level pitching season. Like he's actually sleeper really good.
Interesting. Okay.
I think Marco looks fucking fantastic.
All right. That's awesome. I mean, we're going to get to that later when we get to our game, when we do our predictions for our superlative stats and MVPs and whatnot. We'll see where we both land. First thing we got to get to, though, before we can get to that, the Dorktown Mariners docu-series episodes 3 and 4. We watched those this week. Episode 3 covered... I honestly didn't see this coming, but it was probably the episode I've enjoyed the most from a narrative standpoint.
The one dedicated to the ALDS series?
Yes, the 95 ALDS series. I very much enjoyed this episode. The second episode covered the rest of the 90s Mariners up until everyone leaving between Griffey, A-Rod, and Randy.
It's astonishingly good. I love how they build the narrative of like the series. The only reason why we still watch baseball in Seattle.
Did you know that before watching? Like, obviously, we were incredibly young.
No,
or you weren't even born. You weren't even born in 95.
No, yeah, I was.
I was obviously like 3. I knew about the ALDS series and kind of how it played out and how great Randy Johnson was and how great Edgar was, and everyone knows about the double. Like, I obviously was 3 years old when the double happened, but like when I see a replay of the double, I get like a little bit teary-eyed. Even though I didn't like live through it, I did not know how important that series was to keeping the Mariners in Seattle. Did you know that before watching this episode?
No, honestly, didn't really have any idea.
I was kind of shook. I was like, the idea of the Mariners,
amazing.
The idea of the Mariners like leaving, like obviously we lived through the Sonics leaving, right?
Yeah.
But to me, the way it is now, I couldn't imagine a professional team leaving Seattle at this point.
Oh yeah, that'd be fucking tragic. Not again, dude.
And it's just crazy to me that like how important, and maybe this series wasn't, really that important, or I don't know exactly how it played out. They definitely convinced me that it's the only reason that Mariners baseball still exists. So
Me
I mean,
too.
obviously kudos to them on the thing, but it was definitely narratively was probably my favorite episode. I loved how they tied it in, with watching the vote counting and the series, how it was going on and on and on, and the fact that they lost the vote, but then essentially like strong-armed it after the Mariners won the series. Obviously I knew the legend of Randy Johnson and the double and everything like that, but I really enjoyed this episode and from a narrative standpoint. I thought it was probably their best work so far of the 4 episodes that I've watched.
Yeah, undoubtedly. Dude, I watched that episode and my first thought was like, wow. Randy Johnson, Ken Griffey Jr., and Edgar Martinez, just national heroes, right?
Those Seattle heroes.
Put their names on the fucking plaques. Like,
honestly, to me, I think, what it deserves to me? I think just this episode of this third episode of the Dorktown Mariner series, I think deserves its own like HBO miniseries. You're gonna tell me like I would watch that? I would watch that in a heartbeat. And it would be great. You'd have like the political intrigue of like people trying to keep baseball in Seattle. The voters don't want it. Like I'm sure you could, if you like delve into it more. There's probably like players on the political side as far as like the groups that wanted to keep it in Seattle, the groups that didn't want to pay for the stadium.
Yeah, and like
the lobbying there.
He's like the Jon Snow guy who's just like what we'll get through this dark night.
Yeah, I
think they got Randy Johnson, who's like the king, who's like the fucking Ramsey Bolton guy, who's like, I will kill anyone who stands in my way.
And that's the thing is, there's such good drama, and it freaking ends with the freaking double. Like, yeah. I mean, to me, it's like the fact that this doesn't already exist as a miniseries on HBO is like criminal. There needs to be someone at HBO needs to like watch this, and literally you could do like a 6-part miniseries, I think. You could do like each game is like its own episode. It wouldn't have to be only like the players on the field, right? But it would be, you'd have all the political intrigue of the voting and the lobbying for that and everything, and like the news reporters, like they did. I don't know. Did you watch the Chernobyl HBO series? If they can do a freaking mini series that's celebrated on Chernobyl, then they should be able to do a great 95 ALDS.
This is our opportunity to make history. We can write that screenplay. All we need to do is write a pilot. We shoot it on over to HBO, and we say, "Look, this is Jake and Nick here from the super popular Corner of Edgar and Dave podcast. We got $1 million idea for you."
Hey, I want to tell you, I don't think you've seen the stats and everything. Our listener counts have actually gone up recently.
Really?
Yeah, the end of last season and the first episode of this season has actually been fairly well downloaded relative to what we have in the past. Like, I'm talking like double digits as opposed to normally getting like 5 or fewer. So
really, well, hey, I will say I did tell my like Discord group and some of my drinking buddies that we do a podcast and to listen to us.
Oh, there you go.
That might be some of my buddies out there.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Thank you everyone for tuning in and coming to hang out with us.
We're like up in the 30s an episode.
Really? So. 30?
Yeah,
wow.
I think that was our peak. Is our final episode of last season reached like 30 some downloads. So
I think we had a really fun episode last time. I think we like ranked all the playoff teams and we talked about like who would win.
Yeah. Oh no, last episode was good. Anyways,
and I do believe I was correct with the Dodgers.
We digress.
I think you were wrong.
we digress. I mean, so you're saying that we could be the next Eric Bischoff and W.B. Weiss or whatever the heck their names were, and
Dan Wise and David Benioff or whatever.
Yeah, sure, those guys too. Bischoff and Weiss.
Yeah,
like a
sure,
cookie.
That's us.
Yeah, I mean, we could start off hot and then destroy it at the end. Like, imagine we just screw up the episode with a double and we're hated by all Mariners fans forever.
No, fuck that. We nailed that. That's like our red wedding. We'll get through that. But then,
it's when they bring us back. It's when they bring us back for the 2001 series. Like after we write the 95 series, the double is our red wedding, and then they bring us back. They renew us for a second miniseries of 2001, and we just mess it up. Like we cast like Mike Cameron as like a white guy, and like we just burn it to the ground
There
after
just
that.
is no Ichiro.
Yeah,
Ichiro.
we forget about Ichiro.
And then and they just win the World Series. We're like, fuck it, let's just rewrite history. Like,
Our excuse was like, oh, HBO, they didn't give us a budget for a translator, so we couldn't bring a Japanese player in to play Ichiro. Oh, Mariners.
Yeah, we could do it.
Okay, I'm down. I've never written a script before, but
I mean, have you watched TV? It can't be that hard.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right.
You watch a TV show and like 80% of them are just fucking torture bad.
That's fair. Okay, this fourth episode was, I believe it was titled like The Mariners Build a Death Star or something like that. It was essentially the 96 Mariners and beyond up until Griffey, A-Rod, and Randy left the team. And really was kind of the story of like all of a sudden the Mariners went from never being contenders to following up that 95 year with all of a sudden being like this crazy good lineup, top to bottom.
They call them the Death Star.
Was it the Death Star? Yeah, the Empire.
The Evil Empire or something.
Yeah, all of a sudden we went from being, the team that no one cared about to like the Evil Empire and like the menacing Randy Johnson, the Griffey that is an absolute superstar, underrated guys. I think what I appreciated most, and this is just always a thread whenever anyone gives love to Edgar, because even though he's in the Hall of Fame, this is just like the dumb Mariners fan in me. Even though Edgar's in the Hall of Fame, I'm just like, people do not appreciate Edgar Martinez enough. Why do people not talk about Edgar? And so, like, the love that they gave to Edgar and basically broke down, like, hey, this is the best player of all time. And I think he wasn't even... Was he inducted into the Hall? He was inducted into the Hall when they made this series, I'm pretty sure. Yes. So, that was... I think they made this, like, a year or two after he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Like, I think this is just the stupid Mariners fan in me that's like, oh, finally... People are talking about how good Edgar Martinez is. That guy never gets any respect. He's a freaking Hall of Famer. And so, I mean, it's just, I think the thing I most appreciated about this episode, especially because they kind of did like the deep dive on Griffey and all that. I kind of, the A-Rod stuff, I love A-Rod personally, but it didn't really do much for me. I like the Randy stuff, but this episode, the stuff I loved the most was like breaking down how historically amazing Edgar Martinez is.
I actually totally missed him when we were talking about episode 3, and I'm sorry to go back really quickly, but I loved hearing about a guy that I never really heard of, but it was Joey Cora, and how he set up the double with his like infield single into stolen base.
Oh yeah.
Into being on third when Griffey's on first, right?
Yeah.
I loved hearing about just like him and his little story and like being like a kind of lesser named guy who like really underappreciated for the 95 Mariners.
Yeah, honestly, like, to say my piece about Joey Cora, someone I never really, like, thought about, except for someone that was always super consistent for me in, what game do we had for the PlayStation? Was it, like, MLB 95? Was it MLB 95?
96.
Oh, no, it was MLB 96. Joey Cora was always so solid for me, I think as, like, the leadoff hitter in MLB 96. Like, much appreciated. That's where my knowledge of Joey Cora came from, was the PlayStation.
So it's funny that you bring that up, because I have, not so recently, but I did learn that Ken Griffey Jr. 1996 baseball is one of the most loved baseball games ever made.
Oh yeah, I don't think that's not the one we have though. I think.
Yeah, it is.
It's Ken Griffey Jr.'s baseball.
It's like MLB 1996 Ken Griffey Jr.'s baseball.
Huh. I didn't think we had the Ken Griffey Jr. one. But...
Or, I don't think it's called the. I think it's called that because he's on the title, but I don't think
he is on the cover. I remember that he is on the cover.
Yeah.
Wait, so we own an incredibly sought after game?
Yes.
Oh.
And it's not made anymore. I don't even know if we have it. I haven't seen it around our house in 20 years, right?
You know what? The last time I saw the PlayStation was when we moved out of the Spokane Valley house. And I think it got lost in that move. That was the last time I saw the PlayStation.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's probably in Dad's study under that TV in there, in that cabinet.
Oh, really? Could be. Anyways.
I'm looking at this 95 roster. Sorry, I'm like fucking just getting into it again. But I'm looking at this 95 roster. It's unbelievable. Tino Martinez, Joey Cora, Mike Blowers, Dan Wilson. Hey, Bill Kruger, look at him. Didn't even know he was on the 95 team.
That's the only reason that these guys all work for the Mariners now. All the guys like Blowers and Kruger, like the only reason these guys have jobs working for the Mariners is because they were on that 95 team. Let's be real.
Honestly, you're probably right, but I love Mike Blowers. I absolutely adore that guy, and I love his, like, I'm not actually really a caster, but I'm here just to make fun of Goldie and Dave Sims.
Yeah, I do appreciate how well he plays off of Dave Sims. I don't know. Do you have anything about this the 90s episode, the Death Star episode? I mean, I love the Edgar part, but otherwise, like, the episode didn't leave that much of an impression on me. It might have been because I watched it directly after the 95 episode, and even though I already knew what happened, I was on the edge of my seat that entire episode. Is like, the 90s episode was more of just, like, kind of like a breather for me, right? It was just kind of like, okay, it's cool down.
I had this problem where I watched episode 4, and I didn't really care as much, because it's coming after episode 3, and I already knew what was going to happen next. But, like, so I started watching episode 3 right when it came out, and so I had to wait another week to watch episode 4, but in between watching episode 3 and watching episode 4, I actually went back and watched that Game 5 of the ALDS in 1995, and it was, like, it was fucking life-changing. Like, that game was actually so much fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure. I've watched it as well. Yeah.
If anybody that's watching this wants to go back and watch that game, it's actually, like, I want to say public domain on the MLB YouTube channel. You might have to go searching for it a little bit. I don't know exactly which playlist it's in.
It's easy to find. I'm pretty sure. If you just, like, Google it, I'm pretty sure if you just Google, like, 1995 ALDS Game 5 Mariners versus Yankees, like, you'll find the whole game super easy.
Dude, honestly, one of the craziest. Okay, we're still talking about it, but going back to it, like, that Game 5 ALDS was against fucking was it Robert Cone, James Cone?
Cone. I don't know his first name.
The Yankees pitcher who's, like, Hall of Famer, one of the best pitchers that the Yankees have ever had. David Cone.
Is it David, I think? One of the great of the era,
Cone.
right?
I don't know. But, like, I watched that game. That dude pitched 175 pitches into that game.
Yes. Oh, that was another thing I couldn't believe is, like, they were talking about the pitch totals. Like, I was like, I knew that it happened, but, like, them being like, oh yeah, Randy Johnson threw 1 billion pitches and, like, was, like, on 1 day's rest and came in.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, oh, we could probably use him for, like, a batter or two, and he pitches 3 innings. Like, They did not give a shit. I mean, I realized it was the playoffs, but even I feel like in today's playoffs, if they had a guy that was, like, they barely send guys on short rest. I feel like even in today's playoffs, you'll have a 4-man rotation.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's bizarre. I think that's
because they always have that 5th day of rest in the playoffs. But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, you'll have a 4-man rotation. Like, they are not worried at all anymore in the playoffs of, like, having your best pitcher out there. They're just like, you know what? We might only get Clayton Kershaw for one game. Oh well.
Yeah, dude, I remember watching that, and so David Cohn's still out there at the beginning of the 9th, and he obviously blows that game against Edgar Martinez in the end. He was on 180 plus pitches, and I'm watching that, and I'm like, huh, how is this Hall of Fame coach for the Yankees not pulling his pitcher? Like, what is going on?
You know what it was? Is it's just like, that's just the way things were done back then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's what I mean, and to me that was kind of like the reminder of, like, how shocking it was, like, watching episode 3 was it's like, oh yeah, like, they just like threw guys out there forever.
I'm like kind of lying, actually. So they did pull him out. Literally, like, one batter, like, they pulled him to face Edgar Martinez, and who the fuck did they put in but rookie Mariano Rivera, who would go
right? That's what happened. Yes, and he gave up. And it began the history of Edgar Martinez destroying Mariano. I think the only player who's actually has good career numbers against Mariano Rivera is Edgar Martinez.
Yes, and it's literally because he never recovered from 1985 LDS.
Just Edgar just lived mentally, just in his headspace for an eternity.
Yeah, rent free for the rest of his life. He's still there.
I may be the best pitcher, the best relief pitcher of all time, but I still have a kryptonite, and his name is Edgar Martinez.
Like, the amount of ultra superstars in that game, like Don Mattingly at first base for the Yankees as well, like, unbelievable. Like, that game. Like, it blows my mind just thinking about it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, anything else about the Dorktown?
Modern baseball? No, I don't have anything to talk about in episode 4.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else to say about episode 4. Episode 3, I think it's gonna be hard to top. I'm very excited. Next week, we'll discuss. Well, I think episode 5 is the Ichiro episode, and then episode 6 is the Felix episode, basically. So.
Those are pretty good guesses. I will say there's a couple sprinkles in there.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like
Sexton and Nelson Cruz and Robinson Cano. Right.
So that'll be we'll finish off the Dorktown series next week. Pretty excited to finish that off. Let's get into our game. It's the end of the podcast, so we gotta do our predictions for the year, Nick. So we're gonna be predicting on some superlatives. We're gonna be predicting on the stats, including like who's gonna have the highest average, home run total, ERA leader, and then we're gonna predict our Mariners reliever of the year, rookie of the year, Cy Young, and MVP. So let's get right into it. The first one we got the category of superlatives here. Bounce back year. Who do you think is going to have the best bounce back year for the Mariners?
I mean, who would you even categorize as players needing a bounce back year?
Well, I think mine's kind of cheaty, so maybe I'll just go first, and you can copy me if you want. Like, I think the bounce back player of the year, and kind of like if you think about it, like I feel like this is an award that's typically used in like the NBA and stuff like that, and it goes to players who are kind of like, and often it goes to like good players who missed the last year, and so I think for me I'm
injured or something.
Right, or just had a bad year or whatever. So I think for me it's going to be kind of obvious. I'm just going to predict that it's going to be Mitch Haniger. I think is going to be my bounce back player of the year.
As soon as you started leading into it, that's my guess too. Mine's also Mitch Haniger.
Okay.
No, there's no competition here. He's one of the superstars on the team, and he's looked so good in spring, and we have seen him in his I don't want to say peak because I don't even know. I don't think he has peaked at all, but we know what he can do, and I think he will do it.
If there's anyone else, I think the obvious pick for both of us is going to be Mitch. If there was anyone else, I can only think of 2 candidates that I would put out there. It depends on how you kind of view his year last year. Depending on how much hate he got, I think he technically would fit as a candidate for bounce back player. I think Yusei Kikuchi could also be in the conversation here. And
I was thinking that too, but it's all about Mitch, man. We've been waiting 500 days to see him play, right?
Yeah. And then the only other one I think that I hope has a bounce back year would be like an Evan White or something like that. So I think the clear answer here is Mitch. I think you could consider Yusei for this prediction.
I will say I would almost consider Evan like a non-contender here because how can you give a bounce back year to someone with a Gold Glove? It's just not. It's just not fair.
I guess, except he couldn't
really
hit water if he fell out of the boat.
You're getting a Gold Glove.
Yeah,
and he also hit 8 home runs last year, which is in the top 60% of players, right? His year really wasn't that bad last year.
Right. All right. Next award. This is a sad one. It's going to be biggest flop year. Ooh, also another candidate, if he gets healthy, could be a Shed Long as a bounce back.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but he hasn't even played a game in spring yet, so it's just too...
Yeah,
you can't put him ahead of Mitch.
No, it's definitely, I think, clear for both of us is going to be Mitch. All right, biggest flop year, Nick. Biggest flop year. Who's going to flop? I'm going to have you go first this time.
I don't know, man. I think...
Oh, I also think Tom Murphy, we're just ignoring clearly injured players, Tom Murphy could also be
I was actually thinking about Tom Murphy here, but I actually think Tom Murphy is a pretty good candidate for a flop year.
I was kind of thinking the same thing. Are you going to go with Tom Murphy?
No, I think it's a little too spicy.
Flippy floppy?
I think you're going to go with Chris Flexen, so I'm going to have to choose somebody else here.
No, I'm not. You can take Flexen. I'm not going to go with Flexen.
Oh, no, I actually believe in Flexen.
I think
thought you were going to take it.
I think that the person I'm going to pick is going to upset you.
It's fucking JP. You're picking JP, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Don't you say Demo. I'll kill you if you say Demo.
That's not. Just give me your pick. Give me your pick.
I don't know. I want you to choose because I don't have one.
Okay,
yet.
fine. I'll pick. I think this is. I cannot wait to eat crow on this, but there's something in my gut that says that he is not going to go the way of Taiwan Walker, and that James Paxton is going to have a flop this year.
No way. I don't believe you.
I pray to God I'm wrong. I hope he is Taiwan Walker 2.0.
Dude,
but I'm worried. That's all I can say. Somewhere in my gut is saying that James Paxton is going to disappoint us this year.
Honestly, guys, put in your applications now. I need a new co-host. Because if you're gonna say James Paxton after that first game of the spring he had, where he struck out 8 in 4 innings, you're fucking insane.
I cannot wait to be wrong. I hope you. And hey, let's remember though, if we go back to last year, who won the prediction? It was me.
You only won by 1. So
I mean, that's all it takes. A dub is a dub. I don't like. In baseball, if you only win by 1 run, they're like, it doesn't really count, though, does it? No,
yeah,
you win.
All right.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope you're picking Flexen. Okay.
I'm going to say biggest flop here. Taylor Trammell. I think he's a little overhyped here.
Oh, okay.
I think he's going to make the opening day roster, and I don't know if he's ready. Like, his spring has just been too good.
All right. The only other person I was kind of thinking of, and I may regret not going with this person, is Justin Dunn. I think Justin Dunn could definitely have a really bad year this year.
Oh, no way. I think Justin is
kind
actually so good.
Like a big sophomore slump like Justin or Justice, I think could have a potentially huge sophomore
I don't
slump.
even know. If he has a big slump year, I don't even know. I think if he has a big slump year, he's a candidate for a released Mariner because of how bad his other years have been in a Mariners uniform.
All right. Okay, moving on to released. Who is going to be the first released Mariner? I think you said you had something for this. Who's your pick? Your pick for first released Mariner.
I really gotta dig deep on this one. I gotta go look up the full roster. I'm cheating.
That's fine.
Oh, I did have a candidate. Braden Bishop. I just don't see it working out for him. I think he is literally just like the odd man out in the outfield. I mean,
heartbreak.
He hasn't played any infield at all. He's 27
years
old.
He never will.
Yeah, he never will. He's 27 years old, which isn't even close to considered old for an outfielder or for a baseball player. But everyone else is younger than him and having more success than him in the outfield. You know?
You know what? I might regret not getting in on Braden Bishop, actually. I might regret that. I think you know what I was leaning toward? I feel like I'm always like the lame person for picking this one each year.
Just fucking say shed.
No. Oh, that's interesting though. In my head, I thought about Eric Swanson. I'm gonna pick a reliever, and I know that makes me like the lame person, but I'm gonna pick a reliever, and I think the reliever I'm gonna pick is gonna be Matt McGill.
Wow. Okay.
I just like something about the name Matt McGill gives me like this guy's gonna
I think Matt McGill is a really good baseball name.
Yeah, something about Matt McGill just has me like being like, he's probably gonna be released.
I just think it's a little cop-outy to like choose a bullpen guy.
It's how I do it, you know. It's what I do. I was wrong last year, so
okay.
whatever.
Yeah.
All right, who is going to have the play of the year? What Mariner or group of Mariners do you think are going to have the play of the year? If you want to run like a sick double play or triple play, something like that.
I think the cop-out here and the winning pick here, the obvious winner pick here is Evan White.
God, it's so cheaty. I shouldn't have let you go first.
You gotta think he's gonna be involved in like 80% of the good plays that the Mariners make this year. So the chances are he's probably gonna be involved with like a triple play or like a fucking sexy double play or some shit like that.
Did you see that the Astros hit into a triple play? Jose Altuve hit into a triple play in spring training?
I did. I watched that video like 4 times, and I couldn't figure out why it was a triple play. I don't know if it's just because I watched it on my phone and the screen was too small for my baby eyes to understand.
That was probably it. I mean, it was a triple play because they got 3 outs in one play.
Like, so he caught it, he touched the bag, and then did he tag the other runner? Like, I didn't see him throw the ball. Like, what happened?
Yeah, I think he tagged him.
Okay. He did tag him? I couldn't tell.
All right. Play of the year. I'm gonna go Kyle Lewis. I think Kyle Lewis is gonna rob
Another slam.
another huge home run that we're just gonna be talking about.
Kyle White. Obviously, you guys can't see it, but Jake just wrote Kyle White into his play of the year.
Yeah,
really just fucking tickled me good.
Yeah, I think because I can't take Evan with you. I think I'm gonna take Kyle Lewis stealing a big home run.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely my number 2.
Yeah, maybe like a crucial play, like he saves like a game-winning home run, like he walks him off because he snags that home run. Game's over.
I
they
will
would have
say
won otherwise.
he has already robbed a home run in the spring so far.
I mean, he loves to do it, right? Everyone kind of like. I think the thing on him last year is they weren't sure how good of a center fielder he'd actually be, and it turns out that he's freaking amazing.
So good, yeah.
All right, next superlative award, best pimped home run. Who's gonna hit a home run and just pimp the heck out of it?
I don't know, man. So you gotta think it's gotta be best power hitters on the team. It's gotta be between Mitch Haniger, Evan White, Kyle Lewis, and Ty France or Kyle Seager. Kyle Seager doesn't have that kind of swag.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm trying to think of like who. When I'm thinking of this award, I'm thinking who is the most Tim Anderson-y of the Mariners players, because like Tim Anderson
honestly,
will
I'm thinking
pimp
the exact same thing.
Tim Anderson will pimp a fly out. Like that dude just loves to pimp anything off of his bat.
I don't know if you've seen it, but I really like what Ty France does with his bat after he hits a home run.
I don't think I've noticed. What's he do?
He just like pulls his hands back and he like holds the stick like down at the lower half of his body, and he kind of walks with it for a second and he just kind of fucking chucks it.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It's so good.
Are you taking Ty France's best pimped home run then?
No, man. I think it's gonna be Evan. I think Evan, like, I'm gonna say Evan, if he hits his stride, could hit 25 plus home runs this year. And when he does, because I'm a positive person, he's gonna get some major fucking swag, and he's gonna be fucking throwing that batter.
See, I just think I think Evan White, he's too much of a gentleman, a good Southern boy.
No way. I just think we haven't really seen Evan White.
Okay. I think, let's see. I don't think Mitch Haniger, I don't see him pimping. I don't see Kyle pimping. I haven't seen what Ty France does, but he doesn't kind of seem like that guy to me. I think Kyle Lewis is pretty workmanlike. I don't think he really pimps him too much.
Another good candidate would be Demo. Demo's got some good power.
Well, you just thanks for the spoilers, man. I was getting there.
Sorry.
I was building up to it. Thank you, though. Thank you for destroying any sense of showmanship that I had.
I don't know, like what you were saying, it just kind of clicked with me. I was like, man, he might say Demo.
I was gonna say, you know what? I feel like Taylor Trammell has that kind of swag, but the person I think who's gonna have the best chance at hitting monster home runs, like the guy that can hit home runs off batters' eyes and is just willing to like stare down a pitcher, is Dylan Moore. So Dylan Moore is gonna be my candidate for best pimped home run. That like when we think
I
of.
don't see that. I think Demo's really nice.
You think he's too nice? No, he's got swag, dude. He's vicious. I think. He pimped he pimped a couple last year.
Easily fucking staring someone down while throwing his fucking bat. Marco Gonzalez, man.
That would be filthy. That'd be dope. I would
Like,
love
if
that.
he ever hits a home run in his career, I really want to see him just fucking chuck the bat to the side, like do the whole Carlos Correa, like fucking fucking hand to his ear thing, and then stare down the pitcher.
Yeah, I will say this. As much as I don't care if players pimp home runs or not, like, it doesn't really bother me. The Mariners just don't really have guys like that, right? Like, we don't have players that play like that play like Astros players, that play like Padres players,
Dodgers players.
Yeah, I think Yankees or whatever. Like, I think our players they're just a bunch of good guys just out here to have some good. I mean, maybe they might be kind of pissed off and fed up this year. Like, I don't know. Do you think we're gonna get in any fights with like the Astros? Do you think that's kind of like our past?
Damn,
or
we both fucking missed it. Really, the guy who would do it is Jared Kelenic.
you can switch yours if you want.
No,
I'm gonna keep Dylan Moore, but
I think we're already past that category. But realistically, in 3 weeks, when Evan White is when Jared Kelenic is past the 162-day like cutoff point, and they're literally like, all right, Jared Kelenic, it's time for you to go win Rookie of the Year. He's gonna go hit at least 20 bombs, and he's gonna fucking full swag the whole fucking time. And everyone's gonna be like, "Why is this guy so marketable?"
Again, you can change your pick. I don't have any problem with that. We're still on the pick.
No. I still believe in Evan White, man.
Okay, all right. I feel more confident in my pick than your pick, but that's okay.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're getting on the Demo train, because Demo is fucking awesome.
I appreciate his bat. That's all I'm gonna say is I appreciate Dylan Moore's bat. Anyways, Mariner All-Star. What Mariner is gonna make the All-Star team? We're probably only going to send one, unfortunately. Who's it going to be?
The obvious one here is Kalu. Actually, it's not actually that obvious, because Mitch Haniger could have a fucking amazing year.
I don't think it's that obvious, and also because I think it could be hard to crack that like center fielder or crack the outfielder, right? Like, to me, it's just gonna be hard for an outfielder to make it.
Yeah, considering like you're up there against,
there's so many.
Gonna make it.
Yeah, there's so many good outfielders, and like we obviously have to send one person. There's so many good outfielders in Major League Baseball that like, and also I think part of it too is that Mariners players are going to kind of cannibalize each other from that position, because I think there's going to be so many good outfielders that we have that are all kind of like similar in skill level, right?
You got they're not gonna choose one wherever we're all just gonna be rooting randomly for one dude that we like.
Right. So like if Kyle Lewis is really good, Mitch is really good, Jared's really good, even if Jake Fraley has like a good year, something like that, right? Like they're gonna be all too good and too closely together that they're not gonna choose one of those outfielders to be like the Mariners' designated all-star, right?
Huh. I mean, based off what you said, I feel like the only real candidate is like maybe Kyle Seager or Demo at second base.
I thought about Kyle Seager.
I'm actually gonna go with Dylan Moore, because there's not actually that many good second basemen in the American League. Name one. Name one. I can't. Maybe what's his name on the Yankees?
Oh yeah, what's his name?
Torres? No, that's not right. Fucking, what's his name?
Oh, wait, are you talking about Gleyber Torres?
Yeah, Gleyber Torres.
He plays second? I thought he's a third baseman. Am I crazy?
Bro, I don't know. All I know is he was listed in the show as a second baseman, so I would just
Okay, well, there you go. I mean, I only know Mariners baseball, so... Okay. I can see Dylan Moore.
All the good infielders are third and shortstops right now, so, like, who the fuck is good at second base right now in the American League?
Yeah.
Demo, that's it.
Okay. I see that. I think I'm gonna go with Ty France. I could see him making it. I could see him making it as like a DH or something like that.
Yeah.
I could see him making it as like a DH or something like that.
Yeah, I missed that. Ty France was a good pick.
Did you want to have one more? Did you want to have breakout player of the year?
Yeah. I was gonna get that. I was gonna get to the end and say that. Yeah.
I think that fits under the superlatives.
Okay.
Okay. So breakout player. This is a new one for us. If we had done it last year, I would have said that Dylan Moore would have been the winner.
Oh yes.
as
Probably. No,
breakout player.
I don't know. Could you say your team and rookie of the year is also your breakout player of the year? Because I feel like Kyle Lewis is the easy choice.
Potentially, when I think of a breakout player of the year, I think of someone who's like already been up, and it's just kind of like almost like a most improved category.
Yeah.
So let's do we can do like breakout player / most improved. So I wouldn't give it to like a rookie. So I would have given it to Dylan Moore last year.
My first thought was Ty France.
Okay.
But does that not fit? I don't even know if he would.
You know what? I would say that because he has very minimal at bats with the Mariners, and actually he doesn't have a lot of major league experience. So I think like he's definitely not a rookie. Games. Yeah, let me see. I wanted to look up.
Bro, you know what's kind of fucking insane? Ty France has almost as many plate appearances as Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah, career only 325 plate appearances, 141 last year. Yeah,
Fernando
so like
Tatis Jr.
you know, like over a third of his plate appearances came last year. I think he's played few enough games that you could give him, you could put him as breakout player.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that.
All right,
he's my breakout boy.
I think my breakout player of the year, I'm gonna go. I think we haven't given the arms enough love.
Okay, yeah,
you're
right.
I think my breakout player of the year is gonna be. Ooh, I'm between Yusei and Justice.
Oh, those are both really good picks.
Ooh, let's see.
Dude, I'm gonna eat crow when our pitching is really good this year, and you're about to guess who the breakout pitcher is.
I'm gonna be the one eating crow. Did Justice have too solid of a year last year to qualify for breakout?
Justice is actually no. They were talking about it on broadcast today, but like
he went 4-3 last year. 3.5
His year was
ERA.
so good that he probably should have gotten Rookie of the Year votes, and he just didn't.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go with Justice.
He might be too good. He might be too good for this most improved thing.
Before you veto me, let me give you the argument. I think that he is going to be breakout player in the sense that he's going to get national love this year.
Yeah, hopefully.
Like we already know he's a good player, but I think he's going to be breakout in the sense that like, you know, when like other teams were talking about Dylan Moore last year, it's going to be I think something similar where it's like, oh shoot, we need to watch out for this Justice Sheffield guy. Like we already knew that. We already know about James Paxton. We already know about Marco Gonzalez, but we were not paying attention to Justice Sheffield.
Yeah.
So I think he's my argument for it. You can still veto me if you want, but my argument is that he's going to like break out on the national stage.
No, I think that's a really good pick, so I'm not going to veto you, and I want you to be right anyways.
Cool.
I don't want you to lose. I just want to win.
That's fair. All right. So that's all of our superlatives. We'll now break into the stats. Who is going to have the highest batting average on the team? I believe Kyle Lewis had this last year.
I think this is an easy pick for me. I'm just going to go with Ty France. He seems like the best pure hitter on the team. And it doesn't even look like it's close. Like, Kyle Lewis is a really good hitter.
Yeah.
But Ty France is just fucking, like... It's unreal how good he looks.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Old Faithful. I'm gonna go Kyle Lewis.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what? Like, I'm going back to the well. I think honestly, like, that's me my pick for highest home run total as well. That's the next category. I'm gonna take Kyle Lewis again, and you can definitely feel free to take Kyle Lewis if you would like as well.
I think it's just a battle, man. I think I'm going to go Ty France as well.
Oh, wow. Wait, you think Ty France is going to be getting the dingers? I mean, he's got him in spring training. Okay.
I mean, from what I have seen in spring and also the end of last season, Ty France is the best pure hitter on the team.
Okay.
So I could see him leading the team on average. And I'm going to take this. No, I'm taking back my Ty France vote. I'm voting for Mitch Haniger.
For home run?
Yeah. If you look at what he did in 2019, 15 home runs in 60 games extrapolated is like 45 home runs.
I'm going to be honest. I definitely thought about Mitch Haniger for highest average.
Yeah, I totally just almost missed that. But Mitch Haniger will probably be the home run total leader for the Mariners this year.
Okay, ERA leader. Who's going to have the lowest ERA of the starters?
I want to hear your thoughts on this. I don't want to pick it.
I mean,
This is a tough one.
am I betraying everything I've stood for on this podcast if I don't go for Marco?
So when we talk about ERA leaders, are we only looking at starters?
Yes.
I feel like if a bullpen guy flukes into like a 1, you know.
Yes. Okay. Here's the thing. I'm going with Marco because not only, I mean, this is kind of cheaty in the sense of like he's our best pitcher and he did it last year. Like I think he was like second of all pitchers. I think only Johan Ramirez among all pitchers had a better ERA. So I don't really know where I was going with that.
I mean, that's
Marco Gonzalez. I think also it kind of just betrays everything I've said on this podcast if I don't go with Marco
think it's
Gonzalez
a really solid pick.
because I legitimately think that unironically and not even being a homer, I think Marco Gonzalez is a top 5 American.
I actually
pitcher.
really like it when we don't pick the same character or player. I think it's just more fun as a game. So I am not going to pick Marco, even though I do think you're right. I kind of gave that away by not just picking first, but I'm gonna say.
If we go back to last year, do you want to know? You want to know last year before you pick?
Well, Marco pitched a 3.99 ERA last year.
No, he had a 3.10 ERA.
3.10?
Yeah.
Was he 3.99 the year before then?
I don't remember. Marco, I'm looking at it right now. Marco had a 3.10. Justice had a
3.10 is so good. Marco's
Justice,
amazing.
I know, right? Justice had a 3.58. Taiwan had a 4.0 flat. Justin Dunn had a 4.34. And Kikuchi had a 5.17.
So I'm going to go spicy here.
You know what?
Don't change your vote. You've already locked in, buddy.
No, I was going to go back to breakout player and like switch that from Justice to Yusei.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Like, wait, oh yeah, do that then if you want. But like, I was gonna say, if Justice is off the board, then the only other like real good candidate
is Yusei. We'll just leave.
Yeah.
We'll leave Justice there. Maybe I'll get a hyphen. I'm gonna go Justice / Yusei. I'm gonna get myself a cheatsy doodle.
I don't care. Do whatever you want.
It's because it's kind of like okay. Here's what I want. Okay, we need to go back. I'm sorry. Because in my mind, I was like, oh, breakout player, that can be the same as, like... Oh, but we already have, like, bounce back year.
Yeah.
No, screw it. Okay, yeah, whatever. Moving on. ERA leader. I chose Marco Gonzalez. I just gave you the 2020 stats. Is there anyone you like, aside from Marco?
Yeah.
I kind of think you should just take Marco.
No, fuck you. I'm being spicy. I am going to not even go for probably the second pick. I do think the second best ERA leader probably here is going to be Pax, but I'm going to go real fucking spicy and say Sheffield.
Okay.
The ERA leader. I think his slider.
I don't think that's that spicy. I think it actually would have been more spicy if you said that Pax was going to be the ERA leader.
Dude, I think Sheffield's like his fastball when he has it, really good. His slider when he has it, unhittable, and like his changeup also really good when it's on, right? And he throws a two-seamer. Like his repertoire is just so good, man.
Okay. The last pick in the stats category, best fielder based on WAR. Or like Gold Glove or whatever, right? Here's the conundrum here. I think we should both take Evan White. However, is he gonna like play enough games?
What do you mean? Oh, because he's gonna get sent down.
Like, is he gonna get sent down, and like, is he gonna miss his chance at another Gold Glove?
I almost don't think so. I think it's gonna be like a Zuni thing, where he's gonna have like 2 or 3 years where he's just like his power numbers are just kind of good enough to keep him there with his like crazy good defense, right? I literally think Evan White is probably just Mike Zunino 2.0.
That's kind of scary.
Oh, it's really scary. Considering we're literally locked in on this guy for 6 years. Right. But I mean, I think he's better. Like, I think just being Mike Zunino 2.0 means that you're probably better than Mike Zunino, right? Because the Mariners organization just had... Okay, hear me out. So the Mariners organization just had Mike Zunino, so they know how to fix Mike Zunino.
I don't know about that, but okay. Whatever you tell yourself. Okay, so I'm putting Evan White as your best fielder.
Yeah.
And my best fielder? Okay. All right, moving on to the big ones. 4 remaining categories. Reliever of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Cy Young, and MVP. Who is your reliever of the year for the Mariners?
Dude, I don't know. Reliever of the Year is so volatile.
Okay, I'll give you mine.
You can just literally throw a fucking dart. And the dart is the winner.
I'll give you mine. It's Eric Swanson.
Wow, you're just an asshole.
Just kidding.
His white glove is gonna throw off the umpires. They're just gonna fucking be like, "You're all out. I'm going home."
Although, dude, Eric Swanson, as much as we joke, he's kind of a scary dude. He actually could probably scare himself into like getting a strike call. Like I wouldn't want to piss off Eric Swanson.
As far as like breakout players go, Eric Swanson's not even that bad of a pick, because like he actually looks a lot better than he does even 2 years ago or even a year ago, right?
Yeah. All right. Actually, so my pick is going to be Joey Gerber. He is probably the.
Sorry. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say he was probably my favorite reliever to watch pitch last year. So
it's funny that you say that, because nobody wants to fucking be in the box whenever he throws. Everyone is just too fucking scared of him. Like, it's actually so funny. Like, you watch all these like professional hitters, and then Joey Gerber fucking tweaks out and then just chucks the ball. And even fucking Anthony Rendon is like, "Are you serious right now? Like, that's your windup?"
Oh dang. Oh wow, we might just be.
What happened?
There's an hour ago. There's a post on MLB.com about Mariners moves. Let's see, because I was gonna say I just wanted to Google this before I look stupid, and I was gonna say who I think you should take, and then I Googled him, and I was gonna say I think you should take Yohan Ramirez, but he was actually
thinking about saying him. Did something happen?
Well, he was just optioned to the alternate training site.
Oh.
So it's he might not actually be on the team to start the year.
Huh. Interesting. I was thinking about saying him, but I have noticed he hasn't pitched in spring so far.
Yeah. So Yohan was optioned, and Donovan Walton were optioned to the alternate training site. Then reassigned to.
Donnie's out, dude. I really like Donovan.
Yeah,
Walton.
reassigned to minor league camp. Logan Gilbert was reassigned. A bunch of other relievers were reassigned. Brian O'Keefe, some more infielders, outfielders, and then Rowanus Elias was to minors rehab, and then
Sam Haggerty down or Sam.
Oh, dude, I was gonna pick this. I'm actually so mad. Okay, I don't know if this technically counts because the year hasn't started yet, but Gerson Batista was released, and I was legit considering picking him for my first release Mariner.
Really?
Yeah, Batista. Yeah, so he was just released, so I don't know. We probably won't count that, but...
Yeah, no, I mean, it came out, literally as we were doing the list. That's actually a really good pick, but I'm surprised to see that, because he came over in the Jared Kelenic trade. So,
All right, who's your reliever of the year?
I've had a lot more time to think about this than I really should have.
Yeah, and you've made no progress, I bet.
And I've made no progress.
I'm about to give you...
My heart is saying Kendall Graveman, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen.
Honestly, I think if you don't give me an answer, I'm just going to have to type in Eric Swanson.
I'm saying Kendall Graveman.
Okay.
That wasn't like
a
heart wants.
That wasn't like a commanding Kendall Graveman. That was I don't know, Kendall Graveman. I guess.
Joey Gerber. You're really going to tell me that's your fucking reliever of the year?
Yeah.
Tell me why Joey Gerber is your reliever.
See me in 6 months. See me in 6 months. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, Mariners Rookie of the Year. Unless you want to go with Julio, I don't know if he's going to make the Mariners the majors this year. I think we both just put in Jared here.
Jared Kelenic.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I am thinking Jared Kelenic will be it, but maybe like Trammell will have like a crazy fucking season. You know?
And like maybe if Jared gets hurt or does like they don't bring him up as much as we thought he would, like.
Bro, if Jared Kelenic gets hurt and loses his fucking Rookie of the Year season, I'm gonna kill someone. I'm literally gonna fucking stab someone. All I want for the next 2 years is for Jared Kelenic to win it this year, and then Julio Rodriguez to win it the year after. And if that doesn't happen, I will kill. I will kill.
My God.
I will kill.
Okay. Cool. Mariners Cy Young. We already know who I'm putting. It's Marco. I mean, the reigning champ, like multiple years running now.
Honestly, this is kind of a stupid one because how are we going to pick an ERA leader if we're not also choosing him as our Cy Young winner?
That doesn't necessarily.
I'm going to choose Justice.
To me, it's not the same thing. Like you could still be the ERA leader and not be the best pitcher on the team.
Maybe I should hedge my bets. I'm going to choose Marco as well.
Cheatsy doodles.
Yeah, I don't want to lose, man.
You just wanted to steal this point from me. This was like the one point where that like allowed me to win last year, and you just want to prevent that from happening.
Yeah,
just an absolute blocker in there.
I want to at least tie.
All right, the last one, the big one, the most valuable Mariner. I'll let you go first.
I will say, looking through these lists and who we've chosen and everything, we've really fucking slept on Kyle Seager.
It's just disrespectful, right? I mean, here's the thing.
It is.
I want to say, like, in every role, Kyle Seager is, like, the second best player. Like, if I had to go through here and I had my first pick and my second pick, like, you know, if I wanted to go in here and be like, you know, my second pick for play of the year outside of Kyle Lewis, I'd put, like, a super dope third base play from Kyle Seager. Or, like, best pimped home run, I could believe Kyle could do it, especially if he's pissed off. Mariners All-Star definitely could be Kyle over Ty France. Like, breakout player, obviously not him, but like highest average could be Kyle. Highest home runs could be Kyle. Like, if we had a like RBI leader, I would definitely choose Kyle. That's not a category we pick.
Hey, it's a category we talked about. Didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, are you saying you want Kyle as your MVP?
No. I'm picking Mitch Haniger.
Here's the thing.
I'm picking Mitch Haniger because I know you're picking Kyle Lewis, and I want to do something different.
Am I picking Kyle Lewis though? I knew you were gonna pick. I knew you were gonna pick Mitch Haniger. That was just the most predictable thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I like Mitch Haniger, man. Dude, did you see the contract I signed him to on my other show game?
No.
Oh man, dude, I locked him up for like 8 years on like a.
Dude, let's go.
On like a $100 million contract, and I'm like, fucking steal, dude. Dude, if Mariners get Mitch Haniger for like 8 years and $100 million, I'd be like, guy's criminally underpaid.
I guess if I'm gonna go like highest average and highest home runs for Kyle Lewis, I guess I kind of just have to go.
Yeah, what are you
Kyle
talking about? You're gonna say he's gonna almost hit a triple crown on the Mariners and not be the MVP? What are you talking about?
Well, I don't know. Like, I mean, Marco could be the MVP. Like, I could throw Marco's name down here.
No, you definitely could. But do you think Marco's gonna throw like what? So if you think Kyle Lewis is gonna be like hit 320 and hit like 35 knocks, like.
You know what?
Do you think Marco's gonna throw under 2? Like,
I mean, when Marco Gonzalez is the AL starter at the All-Star game, I'm gonna be feeling pretty dumb here. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, if Marco is, I was thinking about that, but like the other, but like no way, right? Like the starter for the All-Star game is gonna be Shohei Ohtani. No way.
What? Why? What?
Because there's no starting pitcher more hyped this year than Shohei. So all he needs to do is like throw a 3, and he'll be in the All-Star game.
You're not telling me that Garrett Cole is going to be the All-Star game starter? He's the best pitcher in the American League, and he's on the New York Yankees.
It's not about best pitcher in the league. It's about fan vote.
Yeah, he's on the New York freaking Yankees.
Yes. But who's the most hyped
And
pitcher
Shohei
of, like, the
Shohei
last 5
Ohtani.
years?
Garrett Cole is the best pitcher in the league and plays on the New York Yankees. Shohei Ohtani plays on the second most liked team in Los Angeles.
In LA.
He doesn't even. They don't even play. He doesn't even play in Los Angeles. He plays in Anaheim, and they don't even like want the Anaheim name. They're like, yeah, we do not want to be the Anaheim Angels. We want to be the Los Angeles Angels. And even then, they're still they're probably the third most liked team in Los Angeles.
Bro, you gotta be kidding me. This is literally like one of the like.
I know that
premier,
Shohei is popular and whatever. I know that he's well liked in that regard. But like again, in Los Angeles, like there's probably more Padres fans in Los Angeles than there are Angels fans.
You're really fucking busting my balls here, dude.
No, you know what? If it's Shohei, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's cool. Like
I don't know if he's gonna make it into the All-Star game as a starter or as a DH, but he will be in the All-Star game.
Oh,
Rest assured.
sure. Okay.
I'm gonna say he'll be
sure.
in it as a starter because I think it would be fucking awesome to see a two-way player in the All-Star game.
I don't know if that'll happen.
I don't know if that'll happen either, but
We'll
I think
see.
it'd be fucking cool.
All right, that's the pod. We promised a shorter podcast this time. You know this. We didn't quite make it 2.5 hours. It was an hour 40-minute pod or so. So you know we're chopping them down a little bit, making them a little bit more reasonable.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing 10-minute podcasts soon.
Yeah, let's go. Mariners win. Mariners win. Goodbye.
It's honestly like us speaking at like 4 times speed, and then we just upload it.
That'd be funny. All right.
Really good April. Hey, dude, that'd be a really good April Fool's Day joke. Too bad I just fucking ruined it on air.
Yeah. Too bad. Anyways, that's the pod. We'll be back next week for our preseason tier list for all the Mariners. Hope to see you then. And last week of spring training. Let's do this thing.
Let's do it. Go M's.
Go M's.
There's a drive.